Hello, and welcome to the 143rd edition of Beer Issues. My name is Matt Bruckert, and this is
Jean Bruckert.
And we're coming here to you live from Casa de Bruckert, where we're going to be sampling a fantastic local beer, an extra special local beer from the Oviedo Brewing Company, with the most beautiful Oviedo Brewing Company glasses. Cheers. All right, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in just a little bit, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on this beer. Okay, now this is a bourbon barrel Belgian style quad. So what they did is they took their original isolationistic Belgian quad, they put it into a bourbon barrel, which was supposed to be, I think, for like 6 months, but due to the pandemic, they just kind of let it ride. So it's a full year that this sat in the bourbon barrels. So give me 1 second. I'm just trying to get this thing off here. And Jean did tell me that I should have removed it before, so I didn't have problems like this. But you know, I don't listen. That's how I am. But anyway, not a big deal. There's more than one way to win here. Well, maybe
it's a nice
not.
Wax seal. Apparently meant not.
It's a great wax seal. But I'm just having a little bit of a problem getting it open here.
Okay, while he does that, let's talk about the Oviedo Brewing Company Glassware that they have special. They just released these. Really beautiful. It's got the whole brewing process all the way around, and then the logo in the front. I don't remember what the style of glass is called.
TEQ?
TEQ.
I think it's TEQ.
TE. Isn't it TEQU? I think is.
Maybe I've got it wrong. I thought it was KU.
Anyway. Oh, this is horrible.
All right, there we go.
Woo,
now we're good. Sorry about the delay, people. But anyway, the beer clocks in at 10.8% alcohol by volume. So this is definitely not a sit around the poolside type beer. This is one for the serious drinking. So hold on 1 second here. These wax seals, man, they really got them good. So anyway, I'm going to just keep working at this. The beer is actually aged in Buffalo Trace barrels and Heaven Hill barrels of bourbon. So it's, hold on 1 second here. You'd think I'd be better at this, wouldn't you? There we go. Now we're making some progress here, so I can get to it and actually open the beer. Now, this, the history, let's talk a little bit while I'm opening this and pouring it about the history of barrel aging. Barrel aging's been around for many years, especially with like lambics and stuff like that. But bourbon barrel aging didn't start until the 90s. So it's a relatively new phenomenon in the United States that started in the 90s. And believe it or not, Goose Island was one of the first companies to actually do bourbon barrel aging. So just a little bit beer nerd fact, okay? So Goose Island, they still make great bourbon barrel aged beers. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this a little bit for my lovely bride and a little bit for me here. And we're going to talk about this beer. We're going to talk about the smells. And I've actually done a beer issues on the Belgian quad, the isolationistic Belgian quad that they put into these barrels. Belgian quad is a strong Belgian dark ale, and this is a Belgian strong dark ale. It's kind of a reddish to tannish color, and you do get the cloudiness in that. And I'm not sure if the cloudiness has to do with it sitting in those barrels, or the other beer, the original quad, was very similar in color. So I'm not sure how that came about, but let's go ahead and smell it.
I just want to taste it.
Okay, so right off the bat, you do get a smell of that bourbon, which I had this on tap, and I didn't really notice the bourbon as much as I'm noticing it here in the.
I don't notice it. I don't like bourbon, and I smell some alcohol, but I don't smell a strong bourbon.
I do smell the bourbon in it, but I do smell the typical, the yeast that they use when they're making the quad. You get a smell of like a fruitiness that you get in there, but it's an alcohol fruitiness, right? Is that what you're picking up? And I can, and just because I do like bourbon, I could probably pick up the scent a little bit better. That could be it, because I'm a fan of the bourbon.
Don't know if I'm going to like this because I don't like bourbon.
But I'm a big fan of the beer. But let's go ahead. Let's swirl it. Let's talk about this. Okay, so we've talked about this before. When you get the stickiness on this side, that's a sign of a good beer. And it does have some of that stuff on there. And it does stick. And you get a nice head that holds. So that's good. She's been sneaking and drinking the beer, hasn't she? I busted her. All right, let me go ahead and taste it then.
Wow.
Oh.
I didn't think I was going to like it.
Oh. It's so delicious. And for those of you who have lived around here who have had the Belgian quad there before, I strongly recommend you try this because the bourbon kind of mixes so perfectly with the Belgian quad that it just kind of almost forms into like one delicious flavor, right? I mean, is that the best way to explain it?
I don't taste bourbon. It's really smooth. I didn't expect to like this. I'll be honest, because it isn't my thing, but it's really smooth.
This is absolutely delicious. And I know she talked about these beautiful glasses, and the entire brewing process goes around it. It's just a really cool glass and a really great beer to put in it. So now we have some Oviedo Brewing Company glasses. They're beautiful, and we have a beautiful beer to drink out of it. Oh.
Great on a cold night.
Oh, yeah. This sitting around a campfire. Oh, can you imagine how delicious that would be? But anyway, if you enjoyed this, make sure you tell your friends about Oviedo Brewing Company, number one, so they can go check it out. And you make sure you go check it out because they're great people. They make great beer, and they have beautiful beer glasses, as we can see now, which we're very excited about. I almost forgot to talk about our Oviedo chicken. And, for those of you who are not from Oviedo or don't know about Oviedo, we're kind of famous here in Oviedo for our chickens that run wild around the city.
Roosters.
And roosters, mainly roosters, running around the city. So we once saw this and we had to have it because it's like the Oviedo chicken. So this is our little Oviedo chicken here, and that's why I brought him out for this video. But if you enjoyed this, make sure you tell your friends about Beer Issues. Make sure they subscribe, because one day we want everybody to be subscribed to Beer Issues and see how much fun we're having talking about beer and drinking great beer like this fine beer here from Oviedo Brewing Company. And if you want cool merchandise like this cool t-shirt, hats, phone cases, you name it, with Beer Issues logo, make sure you go to shop.beerissues.com. And as my wife likes to say,
that's me. He has beer issues.
I have beer issues.
Cheers.
Cheers.